What is up, y'all? YouTube. Let me see what's going on here. We are in a silver short right now. We're up 7,000 on this trade. I want to manage it here. I just want to see what happens. I think I might take 5 off here on this short. And I'm going to leave 5 runners here on this one. I do think we can make another move down, but I might as well take that 3,500 or so and keep it. We do have some support here. You can see here, this is where we had the breakaway. So we'll see if this area holds or if we continue down. Currently for the day, we're at 14,969. And we have this downtrend here that we need to break over, which is very possible that will happen. We had this support, and we have this support right here. So a lot of support here. I need to get my glasses. It's very possible that will happen, so I can see. But as we're moving up, the buy volume is actually fading. So this is usually an indication of divergence, volume divergence, which means that we're not done to the downside yet. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to go get my glasses real quick because I can't see and I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep squinting my eyes. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. I see how many people. Why doesn't it tell me? Oh, 4 watching. Nice. All right. What's up, y'all? Let's go. All right. We'll see what happens here. This is my runner. So we'll see what happens with my runner today. If we continue down or not. That is the question. But I do. But this is what if we break this trend right here, then I can see us going back to my entry. So we'll see what happens here. And feel free to talk in chat too. And then we'll take a look at NQ and then analyze silver here once I'm out of this trade. But right now we had 10 contracts short. We actually marked out this level earlier, and we had put it in chat for everybody that this 75.9 area was going to be a key level for resistance. And the reason why that was is because we had the higher time frame 50% retrace right here, aligned with a price demand zone, which is a supply and demand zone that we marked on the chart. So this entry up here would have been nice. Unfortunately, I was making dinner and then we had already hit it quickly and then moved back. So I got in on this pullback. I had 10 contracts. I took 5 off. Now I have 5 left. So I just want to see what happens here. Yeah, so we're breaking through here. So I'm gonna get out of this trade. I'm gonna take my profits. $16,688 on the day. This is the 150K Express challenge, where I take a 150K Express account and I take it all the way to 150,000, and then I get my live account with 150,000. So right now we're at 71,760. I've only had this account open for 4 days, starting on Tuesday the 30th to now, and I've only had 4 trading days. Totality equals $71,760, and this is our 150K Express challenge, where we take it to 150K, we get our payouts, and then we go to a live account with that $150,000. So you are on this journey with me. I usually trade NQ, but silver's just been moving better. And when really it's just looking at where we have our key levels. Once we pinpoint our key levels, chart it on all charts, and then just keep watching. Just watch as price moves to certain key levels, and then trade them however you'd like to trade them. But I watch metals and I watch the indexes, which are both of those. So I was short and I'm not short anymore. So we'll see what happens here. But I was able to, like I said, pull out $16,700 here since open about 3 hours ago. We longed this move up right here as we based on this opening low. We based right here. We had a 4-bar separation on a trend break and then continuation. I had a entry here at 72.6, and then I closed it right around here at 74.720. And then I was looking for us to hit this level up here for the reversal, which I did put out in chat right here, which was the area that I wanted to short at. Right here. And I was cooking, so I didn't see it. Oops, not that one. And this is our chat, by the way, y'all. This is our chatty chat. So right here. So I posted this right around 4:48 Pacific time. This was our key level here, 50% retrace from the high and the low on the hourly time frame. And then we also had this supply zone that was right here where we broke out of to start this trend down. And then this was the level that we were looking for. So this was the key area where we wanted to short. And as you can see on the chart, this is where we hit right here. And it was a perfect separation here for a good amount. You know, you could have scalped a good amount there. So, but once we hold, because that's what I've been sharing with you all, is we always hold these key levels at least one time. And you don't need them to hold multiple times. If you can just make sure that you get in the trade when it comes to one of these levels, get in and get out, right? I just got off that bounce. I even got in on the pullback and I got whatever, $6,000, whatever it was. But obviously you're going to size smaller, but take $500 out of the market right there. And then chill out and then be like, hey, where's the next key level? Where are we going to hit? I left the runner. What's my runner going to do? And then you basically just go from there. So yeah, man, I appreciate it. How many folks are in here? Yeah, and share it if you're talking to anybody else about trading stuff right now in chats or wherever you are. It'd be cool if you guys would just share the link with them and tell them to join in. And I am going to go over some understanding your stats, right? You have to understand how to analyze your metrics, your trading metrics within the trader dashboard. And I think that's important for people to be able to go in and take a look at where they're doing well, where they're not doing well. So I'll analyze my own, and then you guys can kind of see me walk through analyzing my own trade metrics. So let's see here. I'll put it in chat one more time, everyone. I'm going to analyze trade metrics if you would like to see how to do it. Let's review NQ real quick. I think this is important to look at as well. Yeah. Streams link. There you go. All right, so let's just look at our key levels here on NQ. I think this is the first piece. Right now, you can try to make price predictions based off of what we're trading. This looks like it is going to break down below this. I mean, look at this tight. Whenever you see a tight move at a peak where you have a tight range, it looks like it's going to just drop and dump right below this here. But let's see where we have our supports and resistances based on where we're trading. So here is the 4 hour. So it does look like we're forming some sort of continuation pattern here. As we go into the smaller time frames, it'll be more evident. So we want to go 4 hour, then we want to go 1 hour. So this flag is holding, you see right here. So this does look like we are going to break down. Where is this trend at? Right here. So this is possibly a really good short area right here. We'll try shorting here one contract. We do have area for some slippage here to the upside. We have this resistance up here that we could push up to and test. But if you look at buy volume as we pushed up, buy volume continued to weaken as we pushed up on the hourly. And then we had a high volume hourly sell bar in comparison to the previous one. And then now we're about 20 minutes into the new hour, and volume is still not peaking. For a continuation. So breathing room is probably important. We may fill this gap down here to 25,400, but we also may continue. So we'll let this trade play out a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Let's go to the smaller time frame. Let's go to the 5 minute. So 5 minute, we have divergence here on the 5 minute as well too. If you take a look, we have price making peaks. However, we have RSI getting weaker and weaker as we make peaks. We're almost broken below the 50, which whenever something trades consistently below the 50, I'm always looking at for it to continue until we get back over the 50. It's kind of like trading VWAP when RSI is over 50 and we're trending upwards. We want to look for long trades. When it's trending below 50 and we're swinging downwards, we want to look for short trades until we start seeing divergences at the peaks. And that's a way that I use RSI to pick direction, and then also pick where I'm going to take my reversal trade as well too. All right, so we'll see what happens here on this trade. Let's take a look at silver real quick. Silver still looks, I mean, it's tough, man. I can't really say silver looks weak. If you take a look, we're holding this support here. So kind of like a continuation channel. However, this price action is not indicative of a continuation. It looks like we're going to break below here. But as long as we hold this support right here, where we've been holding all of these wicks, I'd say upside continuation is very possible. From this first move before we had the breakout, our retracement, our 50% retracements right here, 74.390. And that does align right here with this support channel. So I would be watching this area right here for a possible bounce and then continuation to the upside. If we do continue to the upside and hold that 50%, then our upside targets would be as such, with 100% being at 77.685, 76.980, at 76.430. And then we can take a look and see if these align with anything on the larger time frames for upside areas where we would possibly want to short. So the 100% extension is perfect to this supply zone that we have right here. And this area right here is actually a good area. So this zone right here that we have is a good area where we could just wick into it and reverse. So I'd be watching 77.7 as an upside target. We also have, this is the hourly, at the 6. Let's go to the 4 hour real quick. Let's see much. The 77.68 looks the nicest. Let's go to the 30 minute. Yeah, right here to right here. So my upside target, if this does extend based off of Fibonacci, is going to be to go up to this 77.7 to 78 area, and then possibly see a pullback, and then we could break to the upside, or that could be the area that we have a heavy pullback from. So we will watch that. So NQ trade looks like it's in the green. So we're testing a theory right now, and the theory is that we are in a continuation channel on NQ. We're just tapping the resistance highs. We have volume divergence, which for us is seeing volume decrease as we push up, and then it aligns perfectly well with this trend line that we have right here, this upside trend line. And then we have this downside trend line. So I'd like to see this continuation here from a RSI or from a retracement perspective. There's still some upside room here, 25,534 before we get to the 50%, if that's the peak. If not, 25,525. So between 25,525 and 25,535, if we tap this resistance on this channel again right up here, this would be a really good risk to reward trade to take right here, because you can stop out outside of the 50%, and then you can target this low right here as target 1, which is 358. So it's about a 100-point or so trade. And then we also have this area right here, which is a good area where we had a price gap that will hold the support as well too. So we'll just mark these as kind of the micro shorter term areas that we want to look at. But price action here, as you can see, even on the 5 minute, we have a lot of indecision. We have weakness. On the 1 minute, we have divergence here. I mean, we're just continuing to slowly push down. So we'll see. The big move will come soon. We're holding this trend line right here. So the question is do we break out of this trend line or do we continue down? I'm not sure, but we'll see. We shall see. Okay, so let's take a look at while we're letting our trade do its thing. And I do know that I took a bad entry here, by the way. I just took it because I do think we're going to go down. If I could have got an entry at these wick peaks, or right here, if we get to 525 and we wick on it, I'll probably add there. But let's look at stat metric analytics. Because you want to be able to trading analytics, because you want to be able to take a look at how you're trading and be able to analyze yourself, what's going well, what's not going well, and be able to take mental notes or written notes to tell you what you should be doing more of and what you should be doing less of. And let's analyze mine, because mine's already here and I'd like to do it. So for me right now, total P&L over 4 trading days on my 150K Express is $71,760.28. My trade win percentage is only 52.7%. So you may see this trade win percentage and you may tell yourself, wow, this person's not very good. They have a very low trade win percentage. And that's a valid thought process. However, when we go down and we look at some of the holding time metrics, we'll see if it tells a even deeper picture of why this possibly may be lower, and possible ways that we can maybe improve it. My average winning trade is 1,021. My average losing trade is 750. And my best day percent of total profit is 39%. So now that we understand this, right? Okay, trade win percentage is 53%. I have to now reflect on my strategy. So my strategy is a little bit different than a lot of folks because I scalp just as much as I hold long-term trades. So if I am within a range, or if RSI is moving in a certain direction, and I want to take a continuation trade, I'm probably not going to hold that trade as long as I would hold a trade that's coming to a key level that I know is going to be a very good support and or resistance level or a trend retest. I may hold those trades longer. So because I have multiple strategies and sometimes get in the market in and out faster, you're going to see specifically that I'm going to have a specific time frame of trades that I hold that are going to be the ones that probably make my win percentage a lot lower. So let's take a look. So let's zoom in here. All right, so I've taken in totality 13 trades. So my overall trade count is quite a bit, right? If you take a look here, 391 trades. Okay, that's the total, 391. So 13 trades were under 15 seconds. I had a 38% win rate. So what does that tell me? That means that I've gotten in trades, and right when I get in, I'm like, okay, this is immediately not doing what I want it to do. I'm getting out right away. That's usually what happens. It's because I get into a trade and I have indecision, and I'm at the point where I'm just fearful that I made the wrong choice, and I'm getting out as quickly as possible. So those are trades typically that are under 15 seconds. I'm not scalping 15 seconds in and out of a trade. That's just silly, right? You can't do that in a real market either, by the way. 15 to 45 second trades. So 15 to 45 second trades may be trades that I'm looking for bounces on supports, and I'm allowing time for the candle to close before it validates my entry at a support. So I have a 65.2% win rate on trades from 15 to 45 seconds. But the amount of profits on the 65.2% is probably very minimal because I'm only in the trade for 45 seconds. It's hard to capture, more than, if you're on NQ, more than 10 points in 45 seconds unless you get, a lucky random, breakaway bar. But I have a lot of trades that are 15 to 45 seconds. And that's another thing, is all of these short time frames are basically, you should have more trade. If you're trading a lot and you're scalping, you should have a good number of trades where you get out quickly, especially if you're making impulsive decisions and your decisions are invalidated right away and it just doesn't feel right. It's okay to get into a trade and it doesn't feel right and you get the heck out. That's better than holding the trade and then it going against you quite a bit. So 15 to 45 seconds. So 45 seconds to a minute scalps. I have a 75% win rate, only 12 trades. So this is very minimal, not really important, so not really to look at. So my highest peak trades, which is what you want to focus on, 66, 69, 66, and 72. So 69 of my trades, I only have a 1 out of 4 win rate. And 42 of my trades, I have a 33% win rate. So if you combine those together between 1 and 5 minutes, out of 110 trades, I have a 28% win rate. So what does this tell me? It tells me a couple things. It tells me that I could be getting out of these trades too quickly, right? Are the emotions impacting me when I'm in these trades where I just see 1 or 2 candles and it freaks me out and then I get out, but then it goes in my direction? That's a possibility. That's a reflection point that I need to have, is when I take these trades, am I getting out too quickly? And so now what I want to do is, when I go into trades and I get out within 1 to 2 minutes or 2 to 5 minutes, I want to take a note of it and I want to capture that image, because I need to remember if they go in my direction, if I hold it a little bit longer, like 5 to 10 minutes, right? Because my 5 to 10 minutes and 10 to 30 minute win rate. Like all of these are green, right? Over 50% of the time, I'm right. My 1 to 2 hours is 90% of the time. When I hold for 1 to 2 hours, it's 90%. So I need to see if I need to validate and or invalidate if I'm making the right decision when I'm getting out of these trades. The only way for me to do that is to write down a note for myself and say, when you get out of a trade under 5 minutes, I want you to capture the time and place, and I want you to go back and look and see if it worked out in your direction or not. And then you start taking notes and you start saying, you know what? I'm making the right decision. None of these went in my direction. My gut is correct. And when I get out, it's the right thing to do. That could happen. The other thing that could happen is that you tell yourself that, you know what? A good majority of these trades just moved a little bit lower, but they all went in the direction I was hoping it would go. And if that happens, now you're coaching yourself to say, 110 trades, 70% of them went in my direction. I just took my entry too early by 10 points. So now all of a sudden, subconsciously, you're starting to program your memory to remind yourself of these things. So the next time you get in the trade, you'll say, okay, this is right now I'm feeling this fearfulness, but I know that based off of my studying of my own metrics, that I had a 10-point slippage on most of these trades that I was fearful for and I got out of. So I'm going to give it a little bit of space, or I'm just going to wait a second before I get into the trade. So that way I know that I am making up for that 10 points that I've seen as an average. What you have to do is make sure that you are taking note, looking at the chart, figuring out your trades. Look less at your strategy and look more at price action and where price bounces. So that way you can remind yourself of those things. So 1 to 2 hour, 10 trades. So, this is the sweet spot for me. If you have something like this where 1 to 2 hours, you have really good trades, like 90% is very high. And not tooting my horn, but this is something that I should be looking at. Like, how do I replicate this even more? If I'm holding for 1 to 2 hours, are these the ones where I'm making the most money on? Like, am I making the most money on these 1 to 2 hour trades? If so, then maybe I should just be doing this a little bit more and doing this a little bit less. But the only way for me to know how much I'm making is to go back. And I don't know if there's a way here for it to tell me how much profit I made on this, but I know there's some third parties applications that you can use. But same thing, when I'm in a trade for an hour to 2 hour, I need to take notes to see what my profit was. Because then I can say, okay, all of my 1 to 2 hour trades were key supply and demand zones where I saw 50% retracement on the higher time frame. And when I held those, they were my biggest payouts. So now I've taken notes, and when something validates all 3 of the or 4 of those things, you then take the trade and you hold on to it for 1 to 2 hours because it is in an area that before has worked for you 90% of the time. It is a much higher probability trade to take. Without knowing these things, you're not going to be able to start slowly adjusting little things here and there. So reviewing your stats is extremely important. If you want help reviewing your stats, I'm happy to review it for you real quick. If you just want to take a snapshot of this page right here, I don't even need to see your P&L. I don't care. If you just want to take a snapshot of just these 2 boxes and send it to me as a Discord message, I'll take a look and just kind of analyze like where I'm seeing what you're doing well and where I'm seeing where you can maybe make adjustments or what you should take note of. And then that way you can start working on these things, because you can't get better without analyzing. It's just like a sales organization. It's just like running a business. If I'm not looking at the metrics and seeing what I'm doing really well and what I'm doing not really well, then I'm never going to be able to spend more time doing what I do well and spend less time doing what I do less. So always review your metrics. You don't have to do it every day, but at the end of the week, take a look, see what the week looked like, take some notes, and then implement something for the next trading week. So does anybody have any questions on that? And for anybody here that's a first timer or new, we have our chat. It's called Corvus. It's a bunch of people from the TOPSTEP channel that we just decided we wanted to go and have some good conversations about technical analysis. We stream Bookmap here. Send me a message on Discord and you can join in, and we just talk about stuff all day. It's a good chat, but no no degen stuff, no full porting it open, none of that stuff. It's really where we get focused into things, talk about technical analysis, and then you'll know kind of what we're looking at for trades and all that stuff. So let's take a look and see what we are doing here. So we got some nice curling here. I'd love to see us break down here. Come on, baby. Let's see if we can get down to this area right here. Starting to break down. Really nice trade here. Again, lots of confluence. We have this downtrend. We have this channel, this bearish continuation channel. We are weakening from an RSI perspective. We're right here, right around this zone that we broke out of. Basically a gap fill area right here where we held the support. So continuation here would be awesome. We did our analysis earlier today, and we said that we could go down to about 24,800, right around this area right here, 24,900 for possible double bottom. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if we'll get all the way down there, but everything right now looks like we're going to basically hold this continuation channel and extend back down. And so that's what we're banking on. I do normally go bigger in size, but I've noticed on stream for some reason, when I go larger in size, it's like whoever's watching is like anxious for me, and then it makes me anxious. So I usually save my bigger size for when I'm trading by myself. But I'll take these trades with one mini. Still see a decent movement. So let's take a look at what silver's doing. Yep, so nice move back up here on silver. Held this low here, so we'll see what happens. Right now we're just holding this upside channel resistance. And this is why channels are so important, you guys, because we do hold them. Especially when you can see a downside channel holding. You draw a parallel line from the downside to the upside. You see how we didn't even know that this was going to be a resistance. We wouldn't have known that this was going to be a resistance if we wouldn't have drawn the parallel channel that was being respected on the low side to the high side. Now all of a sudden we're holding below this. And these are some of the things that you'll start to notice as you are kind of studying and trying different things, that if you can locate where these invisible channels are, right? Because they're invisible to us, but the algorithms and the markets move within these channels, right? These trends, these micro trends. This is some of the stuff that you notice. So we came up here, that was already here. Now we're breaking down. Now we'll see what happens right here, which is the support that we had previously. We could go down to this channel support right here, 47,260, right at this area where we have the 50% retrace, and then hold here and then move back up. I'd probably try a trade right here to the long side. So how do you use RSI as you do? You ever trade gold? I used to trade gold. I just silver's been more volatile, and it's been easier for me to read in comparison to gold. So I've just been trading silver. But this does look pretty strong here. It looks like we're going to break up. I want to see how RSI works in conjunction with this peak. I want to see if we see some weakness as we move up here, maybe a double top. How do you use RSI as you do? So really good question on how you use RSI. So I use RSI and volume as ways to identify two things. First thing is strength and trend. So how strong is the trend, and making sure that when I'm trading a trend, I'm not inversing the trade direction on the first peak. So I see a peak right here, for example, that's an extreme peak. It's the first one. So I'm not going to take a short position because the market will more than likely peak at least once or twice, 2 more times before it makes any sort of reversal. It's just how the market works. And so I won't take a trade on the first peak. Once we break out of 70, I'll wait for it to peak a couple more times, show some divergence, and then I'll take a short trade, hopefully getting a better entry, upside entry. Second way I use it is I look for divergence into key levels. So in gold, for example, right here, our key level was right here. We drew this out before we got here when the price was just right here. And as you can see, as we moved into this key level, we had significant divergence here in comparison from price into RSI. So you see this peak right here, then we had a peak right here, and then as we broke over this high, the logic would be that we have stronger buy strength because we have this peak in volume. However, it was telling us something completely opposite. It was telling us that we are less strong, but prices continue to move higher. So this is what I call divergence using RSI. And then also you want to see volume fading as you move into key areas that are also verifying divergence as well too. So price continues to move up, volume continues to die as you move into it. And then you want to take the trade in your key level when RSI or any other indicator shows divergence. It doesn't have to be RSI, by the way. This is just what I use. It's the most simple for me. But the key is not just knowing how to use divergence, because you can get faked out. Like you will see divergence, but it's not at key levels, and then you'll just get continuation. So it's not just about using this, it's about using it in conjunction with other key levels or other indicators to be able to create confluence at a specific level and time the market perfectly for your position and minimize the risk to losing capital because you timed it so perfectly. I'm in the NQ position, but it looks like it's red, so I don't know what's doing right now. Ooh, NQ is ripping. So let's see what happens here. I'll add here at 8.3 right here. And we'll see what happens. So what I'm banking on right now is that you see this curling right here. And I told you guys I was in a bad entry. I preferred an entry up here. So we have this curling right around this area. So I want it to continue curling. And here's what I mean by that. I want to see this go like this and curl down like that. I mostly trade gold on RSI volume, stochastics along with the key levels. Of course, I have my settings a bit different. The RSI is 99. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens here. If this thesis is invalidated, this one that I just drew right here, where I want to see this curling back down here and fill in this gap. If we break this high right here, I'll get out of the trade. But we have a nice support here. It's a flat support. Looks like it wants to break. We may get one more swing up here right into this area. We'll see how RSI moves as well there. But if you are in chat and you're new here, please make sure you share it with other folks who want to learn. We'll go into price action, volume, all this stuff, and we'll just continue to do it. Practice makes perfect. Fibonacci is what I use mostly with larger time frames. That helps me take trades, so you'll see a lot of that as well too. And I'm trying to make clips for my TikTok account. So in a second, I'm gonna go into my performance stats, and I'm gonna talk about like 150K, 4 days, this and that. I'm not doing that for you guys. I'm just gonna do it so I can clip it and see if I can get some followers so I can stream on TikTok too. So I want to see this break down, and then we get a nice continuation to the downside here. So, all right. So total PNL, 3 trading days. This is the 4th trading day, 150K Express Challenge. Currently 71,760 is the total PNL. We have only 4 trading days. We're going to get to 150,000 on this Express account and then go live. So tune in and make sure you like and follow. All right. Thanks for sitting through that. I don't like doing that stuff. It's kind of cringe, but it's the only way to make it's only way to make, some content. So. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna move this to this gap. 2,755. And by the way, this is more of a trade I'm just taking for testing out theses, and we're doing this live with you all because I'm up 17,000, just a couple micros, 200, 300, $400. We'll see if this trades plays out, and we're able to do it live together by looking at things together. So. Let's do it. So you see how we're getting how volume here is dying, right? Where volume here is dying. So we need a peak in volume here for continuation. It's extremely important. As we moved up, volume was dying. We broke out of this area right here, which is why we had the volume peak. And we need to hold the support, and we need to continue up in volume, but it doesn't look like it. We're having divergence here from a volume perspective. If this area breaks, we will move back down. And it looks like we're kind of curling here too, so we'll see what happens. So we're holding the support so far. Volume is starting to increase. And then if you remember, we talked about this area right here. As our key area, which was our fib level from this peak. Which was right around 25,539, so right up here. So you see this top. Just like that. As long as we stay below this, I'll stay in this trade. Once we break over this, I'm getting out of this trade. How do you think I can scale my account back up to what it was? I was up 6K, placed to buy. I forgot about it. Went to the gym and looked at my phone to see 400. I think I got 400 mass locks. Just wait for the right trade and take it. I mean, if you lost 6,000 on a trade, that means you can get 6,000 on a trade. I think that's what people don't understand. Like, you've got to shift your mindset to be like, if you can lose $6,000 on a trade, then you can get $6,000 on the trade. Like, you have to wrap your mind around that. And that's something I had to wrap my mind around. Like, some days, when I first started trading, I'd have, $15,000 days, and then I'd have a $25,000 loss day. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? I was like, well, why when I'm winning, like when I get it right, why am I not getting this much? But when I'm losing, I'm getting way more. So the shift is not in how do I get it back. The shift is changing your mindset and saying, I've got to make sure that when I'm winning, I'm getting as much as I am, and more if I'm losing. And so that's really the shift there. The shift there is how do you get more out of your winning trades, and how do you get less, lose less on your losing trades. And again, it's all about journaling and making sure that you're looking at key things to tell you what you're like. Send me your stats and I can kind of tell you certain things, or tell me why, or send me a picture of where you took a trade. And I can tell you why, what I'm seeing, why maybe you shouldn't have taken the trade there, or whether or not maybe you were right. I mean, just send it to me. I don't mind if I'm sitting on my computer and I'm just chilling, just waiting for my position or waiting for a trade. I don't mind looking at something and then going over it. I can even go over it live. I don't mind. But if you're not in the Discord, in the Corvus Discord, make sure you jump into it. Because you can also post it in there and I can share my thoughts on there as well too. C2 if you're good at it. I don't know. What is C2? Oh, so that's like where people take trades with you. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I can have that pressure on me. I'm the moment I feel like somebody else is depending on me, I'd rather just share the knowledge and allow you guys to do whatever you want to do. And I'll call out my levels that I feel very confident in. But as far as following me on every trade, because I'm a scalper, I don't like it. So, but it looks pretty cool. All right, NQ, what are you going to do, my friend? Volume is, sell volume is increasing and we're staying in the same spot. So that's interesting. Again, interesting divergence here. It doesn't tell us everything yet. Like we've just got to notice these things. But it's just interesting to see that we're getting increased sell pressure and we're staying in the same range that we broke into. So it's a good note to have. Let's see what silver's doing. Nice, silver had that. You see how that channel worked out perfectly that we drew originally, right? We had these two swings here. Once you have two swings, creates a channel, draw the upside channel. Now you can see here why we held this as a resistance. We're holding back into it. Now we have this micro trend right here, so we'll see how this acts. And then on the upside, we need to, this would be our target one right here where price was accepted. And this is where we want to see if we break up, can we break this? And if we break this, we are going to break the high. And then remember our upside target was around 78. So that's really what we want to look for. If we break down here and we still stay in this channel, then I'd like to see us hold this area right here, which is our 50% retracement right around 74,270 right here. So that would be the area I want to look for a long position. If we don't break out of this channel right now and we break back down to the support and break this micro trend. What is NQ going to do? Are you going to break out of this or not? So you see how we have, and here's another thing too, and this is just something I've noticed. And as you start understanding some of these things, you might start noticing it too. But you see how we have one upward trend here, we have one flat bottom support trend here. So these levels are basically, they create zones, price zones. And as we have these price zones, and what makes these valid is we haven't had a break of these yet. So we haven't had a break of this yet. We haven't had a break of this yet. So as price comes down and we have two key levels, this is where you see those big sell bars, right? Very big sell bars. And the reason being is because volume has to multiply to get through key levels. So it doesn't just have to get through one key level here. Now it has to get through two key levels here. So for this to break through this area, it needs to be one big candle that'll break through. And when you have more of these, so for example, if you have, we have one right here. See that one? Right here, this micro trend. So right now we have 1, 2, 3 areas here that can create a multiplied, amplified effect of moving down faster as we break through each of these levels because they're so close to each other. And as you understand these things, then when you see big bars, it doesn't scare you. Like, you're not like, oh my God, you know, the price, we're reversing. That doesn't mean that we're going to reverse. There's just so many key price zones and trend zones that we have to break through, that it all happens at one time. And then we could hold this level right here. And because once we break through it, these trends then become invalid. Once they become invalid, then now price can continue to expand to the upside. So sometimes it's necessary to happen. But when you see these high volume, big bars moving in a specific direction, look to see if there was multiple trends being broken with where that bar was. And if it was, then take note of it and then just continue to learn. And then sometimes when you guys see in chat, I say, hey, we're going to have a big bar down. And you guys are like, how'd you know it's going to be a big bar down? It's because I see these trend zones that we're getting very close to, and we're going to break through all of them at one time. So how long have we been on stream for? Not long enough. I want this trade to play out before I get off stream. So we held that support right here. So now we're going to see what happens as we go back into this resistance. All right. So a lot of nothing happening right now. You know, the biggest, as you guys start taking profits and getting better at trading, you are going to, there's going to be more obstacles that you're going to have to face. There's levels to trading, and you have to beat every level. And sometimes you lose a level, you got to go back to a previous level and beat it again. And that's what a lot of you are experiencing is I finally beat my combine. I finally got my account, a good buffer, and then crap, I lost it. And then now I have to do it again. But over time, you start getting better at beating that level. So it becomes easier to pass combines. It becomes easier to get a buffer. And then the next level after that is, okay, how do I start managing higher position size? How do I make sure that I'm getting better, right? I'm not going through this cycle constantly over and over again. And the only way to do that is to really just start trusting yourself. And don't leave. Here's the number one rule that I'll share right now. Stop taking a trade and leaving your computer. It's the stupidest thing you can do. The reason why people do that is because they don't have the emotions to sit and watch their trade go against them a little bit without getting out of their trade. It's silly. The only time you should ever leave your trade is if you have price separation in a certain direction and you're up 40, 50 points and you want to let it play out because you have a good amount and you set a stop at break even or in profits, then you can let it run, right? If you're so confident that this is going to go up another 150 points, yeah, let that trade run. But if you just get in a trade and you want to get out of your trade just because you can't manage the feelings and emotions of watching your trade, watching the negative go up and down, into back into negative, back into positive, and you're like, I'm just going to leave because it's affecting, then your problem is that you have no control over your emotion. You're still sensitive to price, to your P&L movement. You can't be sensitive to P&L movement. You can't. If it's in a right place, it's nearly impossible sometimes to predict the exact price that something's going to reverse at. It's one in 500, 1 in 500 in a specific area. So if we're in this area, there's a 1 in 500 chance that I'm going to get the right price point, or it breaks up and I get it. I mean, that's really what you should think of it as. Like, I have a 1 in 500 chance to get the exact price that I want. That's shitty odds. So you have to allow some sort of slippage when it comes to where you're taking your trades and your trade position. So stop walking away from your trades. If you can't manage it in real time, don't take the trade. It's very silly. And that's where I see most people lose. And when I was trading before, that's what I would do too. Like, I'd be like, no, I know I got this. Okay, I've got these feelings. I got to stop feeling this way, and I got to step away because I want to let it do its thing. And then I come back, and then you're down a certain amount because you made the wrong decision. That's stupid. Why risk it all? Instead, watch your trade. Watch for it to be validated or invalidated. If it moves in your direction and you've got a good amount of profit in it, set your break even, and then you can step away. Say, hey, I love this trade. I think it's good. I set my profit target. I set my trailing, and now I'm going to let it do its thing. And I'm very confident it's going to happen. And then you got to check in on the trade, right? You got to check in on the trade. I'm going to look at the chat real quick. Nobody's saying nothing on the chat. So I think I'm probably going to... Oh, nice. Nice. We like that. All right. So we're still holding. Something I like to see is I like to see price separation at lower peaks to validate a possible reversal. So if you see here, we had a peak, lower peak, and another lower peak. And then we have this flat bottom area right here. So we'll see what happens here. Again, I should have waited until we got back up to this peak to reshort it, to short it. But I took the trade, right here on the first contract, and we were in the green. But I was like, oh, this is a shitty entry. I should have waited to this top. Taking a trade in the middle of a range is probably one of the stupidest things you can do. So learn from me. Do not take trades in between a high and a low. It's silly because it can go in either direction, and it can do it over and over and over again and just mess with your mind. Only take trades up here, only take trades down here. It's very simple. So like I said, again, if you want to take a photo of your stats and you want to send it to me to analyze and just give you a couple notes, probably is not going to be huge detail. I'll just tell you this is what this is telling me. Send it over to me. And if you're in the Discord, just you can tag me on there. But I'll be able to tell you from a statistics perspective what you should be doing more of, what you should be doing less of. And then I may ask, like, hey, show me one of these trades where you took it and when you held it long. And that way I can analyze it for you and let you know what's going on there. So I'm happy to help, obviously, as long as I'm not doing something else. So like this breakup. Yeah, psychology is a big issue. But the more you trade, the easier it becomes. Like the more you fail combines and or the more you fail like your express accounts, and the more you realize it. And even when you're trading with your own capital, you'll get to a point where you're like, you know what, fuck this bullshit. Like, I'm tired of this. You don't control me anymore, market. You don't control my emotions anymore. And then you start realizing that you can size bigger. The only times that I really get nervous now when I'm in a trade, like right now, I have no care in the world. Two contracts, ATR, which is range, is very low, 50 to 30 point range. my max risk in my head doesn't seem like a ton. But if I over leveraged, like if I was at 5 contracts right now, and this was negative 2,000, and we could break out of this another 30 points, that would bring me to negative 3,000, 3,500. Then I start trading emotionally. Then I start being concerned, and then make bad decisions. So know where you feel most comfortable. It should be specific to your account balance, right? Because if you're just starting off and you have a $2,000 max loss limit, then you probably don't want to, leverage where, 10 points is negative, $1,000. It's probably not smart, because you're going to make a bad decision because you're afraid that you're going to get stopped out, and you're going to hit your max loss. So I would always take a position. If I was at 0 right now, I would take my first 2 or 3 trades, 2 to 5 trades, to try to get an extra $1,000 profit on the day by just capturing maybe $200 or $300 at a time. Stack up $200 to $300 wins using maybe 4 or 5 micros. And then once now all of a sudden your max loss limit becomes 3,500 on the day because you've created a buffer through your profits, now increase in size. Now double it. Now all of a sudden you can do 1 mini, and it's okay if it moves against you $400 because you have a $1,000 buffer. That doesn't mean that you gamble. I think that's what I want people to understand. That doesn't mean now all of a sudden you go, fuck it, I'm going to YOLO because I have. No, that means you take the exact same trades, but because you have an additional $1,000 buffer, now you can increase in size a little bit because it'll impact you less emotionally. That's what I'm trying to say. So make sure that you create a buffer for yourself. And FOMO, I've had FOMO so many times, and it always fucked me over. So I got to a point where I don't give a shit anymore. You will get to a point where you don't give a shit anymore. I've been doing this for almost a decade, and a lot of it was with my own capital. And you get to a point where you're just like, fuck, I've seen this play out a million times. There's going to be opportunity for me to get in. Like today, when everybody was freaking out about oil and this war and all that stuff, I was like, oh, I've been through this type of shit so many times. Like, just wait. Like there's no such thing as FOMO, because there's always a trade. Like if you turn the chart off today and you came back in 4 days, you would find an opportunity and you would have the same feelings. It doesn't matter. There is always opportunity in the market. That's why you have to convince yourself of. You don't always have to get into a trade. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could go to bed, wake up, and then your brain will find another opportunity for you. The market will go in another direction. It will always work out. You've just got to be able to tell yourself, there's nothing I'm missing. The market moves every single day. That's it. Nobody wins in FOMO. Just doesn't work. So we'll see what happens here. Again, nice price rejection here on this resistance level. This trade is taking. I don't like these trades that take forever to play out. It's annoying. I'd rather trades that have volatility and are moving quickly. So we'll see what happens here. Again, price target can be this low, because we could just bounce back and forth in this area before we take a direction, or it could be this low right here. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, man, there's levels to trade. Like once you get to once you get to an area where you start feeling super confident and you can make, $3,000 every day consistently, which it will happen. You just got to desensitize yourself and trust your gut from all the experience that you have. Then there's new things that you have to deal with, like stomaching, a trade that's going against you $10,000. Like there's nothing like it. I'm telling you. It's making sure that you don't over leverage because you win one trade with, max contracts, and you scalp, $5,000 out of the market in a minute and a half from a melt or a pop. And all of a sudden now you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can just go, and add max contracts and get $5,000 in 1 minute. But then it doesn't work out every single time. And then when it doesn't work out, you have no idea how to get out of that trade. Because you no longer have contracts to add. It's the first thing. So you've maxed out your contracts and it starts going against you, and you're like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? And then there's a probability that you could blow your capital. So it's everything that you're dealing with now, you're going to have to deal with when you're done dealing with it at the level that you're at. It just intensifies. More money, more problems. 100%. More money, more problems. But you've just got to wake up and be confident. It's like, when you go to work every day and you have a job, once you get the job and you learn the job and you start doing it well, you don't really have days where you question your ability to do your job. You wake up and you go to your job and you do your job. There may be days where you're like, man, today I feel like I'm sucking at my job. And that's very normal. But you're not every day you're just doing your job like you're an autopilot. Like it's a normal part of you now. You've got to stop thinking that you're not a trader. You have to believe that this is who you are and this is your job. And you have to wake up and you have to allow your autopilot to work. You have to remove the emotion. That's the most important part. You have to assume the identity that you are a trader. You have to assume the identity. Is this who you are? Or do you still have imposter syndrome and you're doing it, but you don't have that full confidence that it's actually who you are? That's the problem that most traders face. That's the reason why they make the most mistakes and why they can never get past that hump, is because they don't actually truly believe that they can go to somebody in their personal life that they're close to, that's their best friend or somebody, and say, hey, I'm a professional trader. They don't feel the confidence to do that. If you can't go tell somebody that you love that you're a professional trader and this is what you do, and talk to them about how you do it and that it brings you money in, then this is never going to work for you. You don't hide a job that you get. You don't hide it. You tell people when you get a new job. You tell people when a company pays you money. So step one is, first thing is you got to do is when you have a good trade, like don't post when you pass a combine unless it's for a purpose. Like, hey, I'm getting 5 accounts. I passed the combine. I got my, like unless it's phase stages. But if you're just posting 1,500 P&L because you passed the combine, then you don't believe you're a trader, right? Because somebody who's a trader wouldn't post that they passed the combine, unless it's for a broader purpose of sharing that they're doing something for some sort of strategy or whatever it is, right? If you make if you don't get a payout but you're posting your P&L, you're not a trader. Don't post your P&L if you haven't gotten a payout yet. Post your first payout. That's it. You don't need to share with people that you have a P&L, that you had a good winning day. That doesn't matter to anybody. What matters is that you're showing that you got paid. Because once you get paid, that means that this is your job. So do not post P&Ls until you're getting paid. That's part two, because then all of a sudden you post one day, you post the P&L, your ego goes up like you achieved something. You didn't achieve anything. You just got to a point where you have a balance in this fake account with fake money and you can't touch it because you haven't achieved anything yet. Don't be proud of having one winning day. Be proud when you get to take your payout. That's it. I'm going to get my fucking payout, and I'm not going to stop until I get it, and nobody's going to know what I'm doing, and I'm going to post that payout when I get it. And after that, now I know that I'm a trader. This is my job. And then I can start sharing what I'm making on a daily basis if people ask me. Who's calling me right now? My girl needs the baby monitor. She's about to come get it. All right. So, again, lots of... Hey, I gotta go give her. She don't got no pants on. All right, so still waiting for this trade to play out. We shall see what happens. Would you guys like me to go over Fibonacci, how I use it? Anybody here that's new? Or what indicator would you guys like me to look at? Volume profile, Fibonacci. You want me to talk about trends, analyzing patterns. I'll probably stay on stream for about 10, 15 more minutes. And then, because right now we're not doing much. Oh, nice. My pleasure, man. I appreciate that. Just trying to share the knowledge, man. These are the things that I tell myself in my head. Like when I suck, I tell myself, like, why do I feel like I suck? I do this every single day. I do this every day. Why do I question myself? Either it's gonna fucking work or it's not gonna work. Why do I have fear? What fear do I have? Fear of failure? Why? This is what I do. If I've done enough practice, then it should work out for me, and I just have to let it happen. That's it. I take the trade because I know it's the right trade to take, and I allow it to do its thing, and I'm confident. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't bother me. And I have to reflect on why it didn't work out, and I have to learn from it. That's it. You've got to learn from your mistakes, but you can't learn while in an emotional state. I've learned that. Nobody learns in an emotional state. You have to be calm. You have to allow your mind to just be completely clear, and you have to watch things happen, because when you lose the trade, if you just spend the next 10, 20 minutes with this gut feeling of just like nervousness and frustration, then you're not going to go and look and see what happened. There's going to be nothing there that you're going to see. Same thing with winning trades. Most people don't study their winning trades. They get a good trade and all they want to do is talk about how much money they made. You need to go back and you need to look at why that trade worked out, and you need to review it, because then now subconsciously you're programming yourself to remember what worked well. And the more you do that, the more your brain keeps a tally of, this is a trade I should take. Nope, my brain right now, my gut's telling me that this is what I always take. It always works out. I got to take this trade. That's it. So stay out of an emotional state. Review the bad trades, review the good trades, learn from them, and continue to program your brain to be able to operate your job on autopilot. That's the most important piece. Doing this all day shouldn't be draining. It's just a job. That's it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you like this stuff, please, I appreciate it. If you'd also like to join our Discord, Corvus Discord, send me a message. We do a lot of analysis in there. We also have book maps in there too, where you can look at book maps live 24/7 that's streamed. And I always put my analysis in there for the week, for the day, my key levels, all that stuff. And I just do it just to share. I don't care. Not necessary for me to ask people for money or anything. It's not what I do. I mean, obviously I'm making money. So, but my ask is I'd love to see this kind of blow up, and us do this regularly and have a bigger audience, and me show you guys not just how to trade fair value gaps or how to trade, like supply and demand zones. No, we go deeper. We go deeper than this. We go micro trends. We go volume analysis. We go divergence. We go order blocks. Like, we go deeper. We go aligning. We go Fibonacci. Like, we're doing the things. We are going to become master analyzers of the market. We don't just look at one thing. We look at many things. We align multiple things. We know where the market has most participants. That's what we do here, and we do it as a group. And the more people we have in this group, the more likely we are to be able to align strategies and do it together the right way. It's extremely important. What is the trade in shore? So we can go, so let's look at Fibonacci. I'm going to go to MNQ so I don't have to keep staring at this trade. Yeah, just message me on Discord, and then I can invite you over there. But we're still in the TOPSTEP chat too. The TOPSTEP chat's cool. No disrespect, and I like their stream too. I think it's cool too. But it's nice when you have a smaller community and people just share ideas, and it's, You don't have a bunch of people just telling you to go long all the time or go short all the time. Like, we review stuff and we talk about specifics. We may not always be right, but the more aligned we are, the more probability of success, and that's a big piece. So for example, if you saw a move down like this, right? This is a hyper parabolic move. Like, this is a very, very strong move to the downside. Once we break this micro trend right here, and once we hold, we want to draw our Fibonacci level to look at what are the possible areas where we could hold here. So start of the trend was this breakaway right below this channel. So if you take a look here, we had this channel here. And the biggest thing that people have to figure out is where to draw the starting point of their fib and where to draw their retracement level when it comes to the extension. So right now, this is the retracement level. So I'm looking to see if we bounce here, where is our 50% retracement level, 30% retracement level, 23% retracement level. And that's where I want to look for price to pull back to for a healthy trend before continuation. So right here, as you can see, we held on the 50%. Let me remove these real quick. And then from an extension perspective, now we can draw from this high to this low, we can draw the retracement, the extension. And then we can see here that our bounce point on the low side was exactly on our 100% extension, right? The market moved perfectly. We had a 50% retrace, we had a 100% extension. And the way you trade this is two ways. First is it helps you with keeping in your trade if you're trading in a direction. So if we start breaking down here, then I know that I want to target this 100% extension as the area of profit taking. It also allows us to then take a high probability trade that has very low risk at this 50% retracement level right here when we looked at the Fibonacci. So if I drew this fib level and we pulled back to this area right here, I'd say, okay, this is our 50% retrace. The market wants to create a healthy downtrend right now. I'm going to take this 50% short. I'm going to stop out maybe 10 points outside of this just in case I'm wrong a little bit with where I put my starting point. And I want to try to catch the extension. And once it holds, once you see it hold, like, so if this is all I saw right now, for example, like, let's say that this was all we saw. Let's say this was all we saw. And we held this level right here. And now I would say, okay, if we hold this, then I need to figure out my downside target. So I would draw my levels right here. And I would feel confident that we could have a 25,330 downside target if we hold this extension. And then as we move over, right here at 25,330 is where we had our bounce. So it's all about when the market is moving. And again, this is why emotions are so important to control, because when you're emotional, like when the market is swinging this aggressively in a 300-point range, and you're sitting there like panicking, like, when should I take my trade? Like, what should I do right now? How should I do it? You're not helping yourself. You've got to just take a second and step back and say, let's chill out for a second. Where am I going to take this trade now? Right? We've already moved here. Am I going to miss this uptrend? No, let's wait. Let's draw some levels. Let's see where I want to see price react. And as you start seeing things, it'll make you feel more comfortable with sitting out of the trade. And so, like I said, as we started to push up, instead of telling yourself, oh, I got to get in this trade for this reversal, I'd be saying, where's the 50% retrace here on this leg down? And I'd be like, oh, wow, okay, so the 50% retrace is at 25599. So we have an opportunity now to go up to 25599. And that's where I want to see how price reacts. That's where I want to know if I want to get in the long or if I want to get into a continuation trade. So remember, do not FOMO. FOMO will make it harder for you to use your tools in real time and find the areas while price is moving. And I'm doing these analyses constantly throughout the day. It doesn't change. When we break trends, I'm looking at my Fibonacci levels. I'm looking at my key supply and demand zones. I'm looking at where I have dominant trends. I'm looking at where we have possible continuation channels and patterns that we're forming based off of the wicks on the pullbacks. We're looking at many things. If you are emotional, you will not do it. You will be so focused on missing something that your emotions will stop you from seeing the obvious. Control the emotion. When price is moving quickly in a certain direction, take a step back and say, it's okay if I don't take a trade right now. I'm going to analyze what I'm seeing. I'm going to use some of these tools, and I'm going to pinpoint the right location for me to take a trade so I feel more confident. And I know I can manage my risk better. So let's go see what NQ is doing. Still kicking it. So does that help? Do you guys understand how I use the tool? And as we, whenever you're on the stream, I'll show you what else we're looking for from a confluence perspective at Fibonacci levels, that's really the game changer. The game changer is not just using Fibonacci, it's aligning multiple things with Fibonacci levels that make trades bulletproof. And as you practice, it becomes easier and easier and easier across the board. It's 7:30. I really want this trade to do something, but it's fucking not doing anything. So again, remember, message me on Discord if you want to join Corvus. Corvus is the name of our group. And it's just where we chat about stuff. And then make sure you like and subscribe too. That helps me out. Just, it just always feels good, like when you do streams like this every day, multiple times a day, and the channel's growing. It's a good feeling because it provides, that's the purpose for me. Is what I'm doing something that attracts people, makes people want it. That's what makes me feel good. Not money. It's changing people's lives. And when I see those statistics, of the channel and people watching more and sharing it with other people, that's the stuff that makes me want to keep doing it more than anything. So, and once my my TikTok gets bigger, then I can stream on TikTok too, which will be kind of cool. I think doing TikTok's really cool because you can just pull in random people from the world that just enjoy the content and want to learn, and then all of a sudden, you can just get this huge audience. And then the nice thing about TikTok is as you get bigger on it, you get even bigger. It's like amplifies your growth significantly. So it's wild. So so now we got a breakdown here. As you can see on these pushes up, RSI is still continue to weaken. We have price divergence here that we were looking at. We could go down, like I said, to this level right here where we have our support. We could continue to trade within this channel, but I want to see how price reacts here at 450s, and see if we get a heavy wick here that shows that we're going to just bounce back and forth between these ranges for a little bit. If we break this level now, my downside target would be this support right here where we had the breakaway right here, but also another support could be just the gap fill down here, but I don't really trade gap fills as much as most people. So yeah, I can always look at gold. I haven't analyzed it in a while, so I'll have to analyze it maybe tomorrow morning and just see what's going on there. Yeah, man, no worries. Just tell all your friends. Tell them to join the party. Tell them to join the party. Tomorrow will be interesting for NQ. So crazy, man. This just like this curling. It's like looks like it just wants to go straight back down to this 274. What if we left this as a target? That'd be a pretty cool target. Oh, did silver drop? So we held that channel. Remember that channel we had? Oh, actually, we broke out of it and then broke below it. So let's see what we have here. So let's do some analysis here now. Again, this is where we started the breakout, right over here. So we have that area or that area. So sometimes what I do is I'll draw two, one on the low and one on the breakout, and I'll just see, just make sure that I am not missing anything. So 50% is right over here on the pullback. Are we creating a new trend here? I'm not sure. We broke below this area right here, which remember we drew this earlier as the micro trend. We do have a dominant support right here that we haven't really retested yet, right around the 74 level. So this area right here is where I'll look to see how price reacts, see if we can get some divergence, and then see if we can catch a move back up here. So let's see how NQ is doing. And again, you know, I'll say this over and over again. You don't have to take a trade. It doesn't matter. Like, eventually the price will go in your direction. There's enough opportunities throughout the day. And sometimes it feels good to be like, I'm just going to wait for it to come to my level. But know your upside level and know your downside level. Because the biggest thing that I've noticed for myself when I was taking trades was that I only had one bias. So I was like getting frustrated and upset because I thought that the trade was going to go without me, right? The FOMO. And then I started telling myself, well, if I know my bearish thesis and I know my bullish thesis and I know which levels I want to play, then I'm not going to get FOMO, because if it goes up, then I want it to go up into this level and I'll trade at that level. If it goes down, I want it to go down to this level and I'll trade at that level. And so it becomes easier then to just wait for the trade to come to your key level before you take a position. So the best thing to do is have your upside and your downside thesis, have your key levels there, zoom out, say, I'm going to wait for it to come to my key level. I don't care if it goes up or down. These are the areas I want to trade off of. And don't allow the FOMO to control you. You control it because you're confident that it's going to go to one of these key levels that you can trade off of. Sometimes, does anybody else ever just sit here and you're just like, fuck dude, like I don't even want to be in this trade right now, even though it might do what I want it to do, but I'm so bored that I just want to get out of the trade and not do anything. Anybody else ever feel that way? All right, I'm going to do my clip again on my performance stats, just so I have a couple in case I don't like the first one, so bear with me. All right, so we are on the 150K Express Challenge. How quickly can we get the 150K Express account on TOPSTEP to 150K total P&L? Currently right now, $71,760 in only 4 trading days. Account opened on the 30th. $55,000 last week. We're currently at $16,000 this week. We are halfway to our $150,000 goal, and we wonder how long it's going to take for us to get there. So make sure you follow and tune in for tips and strategies on trading better. And I swear to God, it's like the moment that you get, like, you're just like, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore. And then you get out, within like 3 minutes, that's when it drops. It's like, it's annoying. Anybody play any video games? I've been playing this old game, Team Fortress 2. It's actually pretty fun. I started playing it again. I gotta get back into like video games so I have stuff to do like when I'm bored. My son's 5, so he likes to play like Roblox and Minecraft and stuff. But like, I've learned that I've got to find things to occupy myself. You know, I work out a lot and I play basketball a lot, but I've got to find things to occupy myself so that I don't just always want to fill my time with just staring at this machine all the time. You know, like, do something else. You know, go watch a movie. You know, find another hobby. Don't allow this to be the thing that you do 24/7 nonstop every single day, because it will eventually ruin other aspects of your life. Which, that's the purpose of trading, is not to be a hermit stuck in a room. The purpose of trading is to take money out, work less, and be able to go enjoy your life. So I challenge you all to just make sure that you have another hobby. That if you notice that you're sitting here for multiple hours, that you say, you know what, I gotta go do something. I gotta go call my friend. I gotta go see my parents. I cannot be a hermit sitting here all the time. This is not why I started doing this, right? You would not go to a job at work and sit at your job at work for 24 hours straight because you know that you would be like, I gotta get out of this place. Like, I can't be here, right? This is a job. At the end of the day, this is not anything other than a job. And you've got to be able to be like, you know what, I've been here way too long. I need a break from this, and you got to step away. It's extremely important. Let's see what silver's doing. No, I don't trade 50Ks anymore. I have my 50K still, and I was at 4 payouts, and my balance was higher, and I didn't realize that I can't take the whole 50K balance or the higher amount. It was at like 70K, and then somebody told me like, hey, just open a 150K one, and then you can take the balance, you know. So I just opened a 150K one and passed it, and now kind of just doing this challenge for fun on stream, just so people can watch it, and you know, I'll farm some of these sim payouts as well too before I go to a live account. And I did think about doing, you know, like 5 accounts, you know what I mean? That way I can take 25K at a time. But I don't know, man. Just managing 5 accounts to me just doesn't seem ideal. I have no problem, you know, with $5,000 a week. You know, that's a good amount of money. And then once I do finally go to live, then I can take, you know, 50% of my balance, and then get daily payouts after 30 days. So that'll be nice. There's definitely more risk control, which I think will be nice too. Like you can only lose a certain amount per day depending on your account balance, um, but yeah. All right, guys. Do we think this is gonna dump? All right, we got some good separation. We're getting lower lows. We're moving down into this key level here that we talked about, that 451. Remember, we have multiple trends here that could possibly break. So we have this trend right here. We have this support trend right here. We have this trend right here. So as we move into this, we can see some very nice big bars as we break through it. So slow move down. I want to see us break through this quickly with some high volume with 1 or 2 big bars here and get through this level and bring us down to this 25,426 level. That's what I want to see first. If I see us hold here and then get some volume, some buy side volume and move back up, I'll probably take profits, because then we're just going to continue trading in this box until we pick a direction. And I don't know if I want to keep holding this trade. So let's see what happens here. All right. I think I'm going to jump off the stream. We'll see what happens here, but I'm going to play some video games for a little bit and reset and then let the market do whatever it wants to do. But if you're in this trade, we'll see what happens. It still does look good to downside. Again, we just want to see these break, these trend rubber bands. We want it to break and snap and then see what we can get to the downside. So hopefully you guys like the stream. I'll put some snips up on the TikTok if you guys want to watch it. Just some 60-second shorts that I clipped. And if there's anything else that you guys need, feel free to send me over a message on Discord. Let's just wait a second. Let's see what happens here. We're almost there. So I think we've been waiting for this for the last 45 minutes. So we're holding, you see how we're holding this micro channel right here? So as long as we stay under this resistance and over this support, we can keep going down and just have a hard break of this. So we'll see how it reacts right here. Sell side volume increasing, reversal volume decreasing, buy strength still gets weaker on every second bar. Everything still looks like we're going to go down. RSI has not peaked yet. We haven't seen a peak in RSI yet. Still not at a key level, really. We're not holding on any sort of key level here. Everything still tells me we're going to go down. So, okay. Well, we'll let it do its thing. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I know you want to drop. I know you want to drop it, baby. I know you want to drop it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go and fill that gap. Let's go and fill that gap. Yeah. Come on, big candles. Let's get some big candles as we break through these levels. Come on, big candles as we break through these levels. Big candles. We are coming towards it. Stop holding on these micro levels. Nothing. So what do you guys want to talk about? I don't want to give you, I don't want to go over too much knowledge stuff all the time, because your brain can get overloaded with knowledge, right? Then you don't retain any information. So I guess we can do some more Fibonacci stuff while we wait. So MNQ. So let's take a look at, so use old market movement to test out your theories. So when you see pullbacks, so for example, we have this micro trend here, right? Opening micro trend. It's a valid trend because we had a trend retest right up here. So we could have just drawn from here up to here and see that we held on the 50% here. Then we can draw the extension from those same levels and see that the upside target would have been right here at 25,623. This was a good area to exit the trade. So, but then you could have also done the retracement from here to here and seen that we bounced perfectly at the 50% on this move down. And it's just, it's as you start looking at things, you start realizing that everything just lines up perfectly. Like it just fucking lines up perfectly all the time. Everything lines up. So go back and pick a random day. Like this is what I used to do. I literally used to just scroll on my chart forever. I would just go, pick a random day. And then I would just stop on a random day. And then I'd look and I'd be like, okay, why did this react the way it did? Why did this happen here? Okay. So I'm going to look at this area right here, this little micro area. Okay, so we came down, micro trend right here. Okay. We broke the micro trend into here. We held this top, which looks like it was pre-market support trend resistance right here. So we held this area. So now I know that if in pre-market levels, that if price breaks below pre-market levels where we held the support and then retests it, we need to break out of it to the upside. Otherwise, it's a good retest short. So that's what that tells me. And I'm using previous data to define the thesis and analyze it and then come to a conclusion. And I'm doing this over and over and over and over again. Because then when I'm trading open, I'm like, okay, we have a flat pre-market support. If we break through the pre-market support, I want to look for it to hold for continuation. So when that happens next time, that's what my brain is going to tell me what it wants to do. Is it normal to feel like, give me one sec. Is it normal to feel like trend lines aren't spot on? I feel like I'm drawing mine wrong. I like clean trend lines. I don't like when trend lines go through other bars. So for example, like this, that's not a good trend line. But sometimes you don't see the trend line right away. Sometimes you have to allow the market to play out for it to show it what it is truly. You have to give time for the market to move so it can show what is trading, what it's trading in, what trend line is it trading in, what pattern is it trading in. Sometimes you don't see that right away and you have to allow the market to show it to you. So from this swing to this swing, we saw now that, okay, we have this trend right here. Okay. So this is a trend that I would be watching to break at some point in time. And as you can see right here, right? I didn't even see that. This trend was here. We magnetized to it. We broke over it. And then this is when we had our reversal micro trend right here. And then the question becomes, okay, well, why did we hold at this level right here? So now we can draw our fib from this move down. And we can see that we held right around the 50% level again. And then we can do our extension from this area to this area and see that we held this 618 level. But I don't like this because this doesn't, that means that something's off. So then the question to me is that, is this a trend? Like that? Right? Do we also have this micro trend in play? So there's always multiple trends in play. You just have to figure out which ones are the valid ones, and it takes time. I can't give you a secret sauce. I've just learned to look at heavy wicks are most important. Like the most dominant swings are usually the most important. Is silver going? Let's take a look. I don't know. So these are my levels on silver right now. We're trading in this channel. This is my where I want to look for a long, right around 74.20. This area right here has been resistance, so we'll see how it reacts. We go up here, but we're trading in the middle, so I wouldn't take any trades right now on gold or on silver. But my brain is getting fried from sharing so much information. I feel like I'm not communicating well anymore, so I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go play some video games, probably go to bed, and then wake up and see what happens in the morning. The NQ trade, I don't know what to do with this. Do I hold it or do I just get out? See that we had this big bar that broke into that channel. Now this is holding. So this is holding this area, this trend right here, and then we have this downtrend right here. So we'll see. I don't know, but I appreciate y'all. And I'll see you guys in the morning, 30 minutes before market open, to analyze the overnight. I'll see you guys later. Take care.